On today's episode of The Unwritten Rule presented by FanDuel, we recapped a rough Gator Bowl for Missouri against Virginia. Talked about the, not great play calling for Eli Drinkwitz or by Eli Drinkwitz. Tough day for Matt Zollers at the office as well. Talked about that. Just kind of gave our thoughts and takeaways, sort of put a bow on a performance befitting how Mizzou's season kind of shook out in the big 2025. So talked about that and then went to quick hits. Had some good Tigers in the Wild, couple of Tigers in the NFL things. Talked a little Marty Supreme, did a little pop culture on the pod. Kenny had a Ken Sports Shorts as well. So good quiz. Good show for you guys to dive into it, which we will do so right now as the Unwritten Rule starts right after a quick break.
Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Payton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule. Today is Monday, December 29th. And suffice to say, none of our score predictions, one of which was shared between two individuals on this program, came true for Mizzou versus Virginia. An absolute stinker at the Gator Bowl between the Tigers and the Cavaliers. 13-7, Mizzou loses. They fail to get that coveted third 9+ win season. That would have been the first time in school history that they would have done that. Instead the year ends in a little bit of a whimper at 8-5 against a very good Virginia team. I'll give them some credit off the bat. That defense is definitely for real. They had a good season. Mizzou didn't lose to nobody necessarily, but still a disappointing result for the end of the year to see only one touchdown, only one score go on the board for these Missouri Tigers. I'm going to start with this, Payton and Kenny. We all were tuned in on Saturday night. To me, this affirmed why Chip Lindsey, is it's good that they have that sorted out. It affirms why Mizzou needs a guy calling plays on offense, because boy, oh boy, that was pretty uninspiring for me in all four quarters. I have some stats to back it up. You two have seen them all, the viewers, in case you haven't. Missouri ran 56 plays. Before that, 11-play drive in the end of the game where they went down the field and had a chance at the end zone. They had run 14 plays in the second half. And then the two big factors that Kenny and I discussed pregame, the time of possession in the third downs. Virginia absolutely dominated it. They had the ball for 38 minutes. Missouri had it for 21. Missouri went 3 of 12 on third down. UVA went 13 of 23. Again, I didn't think the Missouri defense actually had too bad of a showing, but could not get off the field on third down, and Missouri had absolutely nothing to offer on offense for third down. I saw one of you guys, I think, message that Ahmad Hardy and Daniel Blood played the same amount of snaps in this game, which
Hardy played one more snap than Daniel Blood.
Thank you.
Apparently, which is not good.
This to me felt a lot like the Oklahoma and Alabama games with this offense, to where, it was a one-score game. Missouri was never out of it. Even, had a crack at the end zone with Brett Brown, of all people, throwing it. But it just never felt like the Missouri offense was gonna get things done. They couldn't cash in a muffed punt. That was one of the funnier muffed punts I've seen by Virginia. Just a kind of to me, felt like a summary of both why it is going to be good. Why Chip Lindsey definitely needs to have the play calling responsibilities, and a kind of a good summary of what we've seen from Missouri's offense all year, fellas.
Yeah, boy. If you thought Kirby Moore was bad, let me tell you what. I had totally forgotten what drink calling plays was like, and I'm so confused why he even did it. I could have swore he had said he was not going to be doing it in a press conference. Like he was really going to kind of collaborate and figure it out, but he kind of said it wasn't. I'd have to go back and find the quote. I was surprised when it turned out to be Drinkwitz calling the plays, but
I'll jump in real quick, Payton, on that. I don't think he ever said, outright that. I mean, he was really dancing around it. You've seen the tweets. It's like, I'll maybe do run, pass, or pass, run. Wasn't really giving a straight answer about it. You talk about the collaboration too. It's always been like that. They mentioned it before. You get input from your running backs coach, Curtis Looper, and your wide receivers coach, Jacob Peeler, on what they're seeing as well. They wear a headset for a reason. But in this one, I mean, it looked like, straight up that he was one calling plays. You saw him with the microphone that Kirby Moore would use while he was in the booth, and you didn't have Kirby Moore to be in the booth for that game.
Yeah, well, nonetheless, I mean, that game, I take the bowl games pretty serious. I know a lot of people don't. I do think they're good. I'm not like outraged by the laws. Again, like Knowlton said, you got to give a lot of credit to Virginia. Virginia is a very senior laden group. Chandler Morris is a very experienced quarterback. I thought the edge in this game, kind of, if you had to boil it down to one thing, was Chandler Morris is an experienced quarterback that looked like he knew what he had to do on big money downs. I think he was 10 for 10 on third down to start the game, maybe even finished with that. And Zollers was so out of his depth and was very overwhelmed at times. I really think that Virginia is a good team. That said, this is just a game that kind of confirmed to me what I was thinking kind of towards the end of the year. Chip Lindsey, Drinkwitz should not step into his offense one time when it comes to installing a game plan. He should hand the reins over to Chip Lindsey and let Lindsey do whatever the hell he wants with the offense. If Lindsey wants to completely tear up all the passing schemes, he should be allowed to do it. If Lindsey wants to, if Lindsey wants to rip outside zone up, Drinkwitz needs to shut it and let him do it, because this offense has just totally reached a point where it feels like it all needs such a hard reset. The O-line has really, the interior sucked this year. Even last night they were doing weird things with Tollison. I don't know if Tollison got hurt or what, but Wilson was in there. Jadis was moving around. I wasn't a fan of either of their play this year. I thought they were both pretty bad. And it wasn't any better last night. Peagler got another holding penalty. It was just a mess on the O-line. The receivers, I don't know how much I can put on them, really, because I just thought the quarterback play was just not what it needed to be this year. Missouri went, shout out Tom Orff for tweeting this, and we've mentioned his stats a number of times.
The man.
They went the last 15 quarters of the season without a passing touchdown. That is heinous. And I know there's that tweet out there, I think from SEC Numbers Guy, about how the top 3 rushing seasons in the SEC since 2019 have been Missouri running backs. I'll be honest, I hope I don't see that stat again. I would because in 2 of those years, the Beatty year and the Ahmad Hardy year, the offense was flat out bad. And it's because there was just no balance. They have no identity passing the ball like they did in 2023 even, or even 2024. It was never this bad. It's something that needs to be torn down to the studs. I don't want to make sweeping judgments about Matt Zollers' career after one game against a pretty good team. And again, credit to Virginia. I thought they did a lot of things schematically, X's and O's wise on both sides of the ball. I thought Virginia won the day. Offensively, they just had Missouri in a blender. Their defense just had no clue what was coming on 3rd and 4th downs. Credit to Virginia on that. I think it had a lot to do with what Virginia was doing. But offensively, Zollers just, I don't believe he's really close to being starter level right now. And I don't think that's surprising. He was supposed to redshirt this year. He comes in after playing, what was it, Kenny, 3 games his senior year in high school? Not a lot. He's a guy that I think needs to just see the game for a year. So I think last night, if Missouri was kind of sitting on the fence about it, I think it should push them to the side of really pursuing a portal guy hard, because that's going to mask a lot of it. The O-line, I think, needs a bit of a facelift as well, and they need about 8 receivers, but I really think a quarterback has got to be top priority in the portal again.
Kenny, do you agree? I'll go there with Zollers, because that was going to be my next point. He did not have the Brady Cook breakout game in the Armed Forces Bowl that you were maybe hoping for. Little bit of tough to compare Army with, a ranked 11 win Virginia team, but yeah, 12 of 22, 101 yards. He had the pick was real rough, and he would not have gotten over 100 yards without that final drive. I think he had 45 through almost 4 quarters, and then had like 57 on that last drive alone when Virginia's sitting back, and he got him down there. Credit to him, but I think some of that is you're sitting back and cover. You have everyone in coverage. Those routes are going to be there. What did you think about his game?
Yeah, overall, there's a lot of variables, Jack. I think, the one thing that, Payton already hit home is the play calling. I don't think as much was really opened for that offense to move as much downfield, but also some of the throws just weren't there. On the interception, it was in double coverage. I think Kevin Coleman had one guy on him in that spot, but he went to Xavier Lloyd. I think he had another wide receiver, or he had Jude James, with a little bit more cushion as well if he was trying to get the ball into a tight window. And those two guys probably had a better chance of catching it than Xavier Lloyd, who had 2 guys on him. And me saying Xavier Lloyd's name a couple times, Missouri's just wide receiver options and targets weren't there in this game either. I think that maybe could play a part into it. There's just a lot of factors that go into it, the entirety of it. And Payton talked about it with not having as much experience behind him. He had started in 2 games. He played well, I would say, in that Vanderbilt game. And I think what we've kind of seen too from Zollers is he does have stretches where it's there. You can see the athleticism. You can see something clicking for him. But I think the overall big picture is that a lot of people still don't really have the most trust in him to be that starter next year. I'm very intrigued to see what that looks like in a full off season. He did come into Missouri last year after having to be in a boot for the final couple months of high school before he enrolled in January. I don't know how much that would have limited him, just kind of getting through conditioning, but another year in the system. Very intrigued how that looks, and who's the competition that comes in. Are they going to bring in a guy from a higher, FCS group of, or FBS or FCS group of 6 level, or is there going to be a guy that comes in from the Power 4 level that's going to, straight up, run away with the job? Those are not watching with us on the YouTube. Payton's nodding his head at that, and that's probably going to be the case.
Nodding his head at the group of 5 guy. Let it be known, Payton really wants the group of 5.
He wants the group. No, he wants the power. Yeah. No,
I tricked you. I was trying to troll.
You tricked me because he started shaking his head again. But yeah, I think the thing I'll just quick add on Chip Lindsey, I think I brought it up on our episode talking about the offensive coordinator spot. It wasn't the best ending at Troy when he was the head coach there a couple years ago, back in 2021. But he kind of proved to be very adaptable. He was an air raid guy for a long time. He really adapted to 12 personnel, 11 personnel. Working with bigger tight ends, if you have a fullback in there at the same time. If Mizzou does kind of scrap that pistol wide zone look, I am intrigued to see as well how that offense changes, for a guy that's been around a bunch of offenses. He's coming from Michigan. That's a different type of offensive play style in the Big Ten.
Yeah, let me say, I don't expect them to scrap their outside zone identity. I do think Drinkwitz is still going to be I would really like for that to still be our bread and butter. And again, with Hardy back in the fold, because no matter what the sideline altercation, in quotes I'll put, was, Ahmad Hardy is not leaving because he didn't feel like he got enough touches in the Gator Bowl, everyone. Please calm the hell down. But with Ahmad Hardy, I do think you kind of got to keep the outside zone as your main bread and butter. But I was just saying it as more as whatever Chip Lindsey wants to do, especially in the passing game, Drink should have no veto power over that. Let Chip Lindsey do whatever he wants.
Yeah, this goes back to our portal discussion too with the receivers. This Missouri has seen it, when there are guys that can be elite targets. The Burden Theo Wease years, Drinkwitz has seen that firsthand. And you think I would think he'd want to go after that. Because I think ultimately that's going to be not equally, of course, but close to as important as getting that quality quarterback who should take the starting mantle. I agree with both of you. On that. Any good from either of you two? I actually thought, we're kind of dogging on the receivers a little bit. Actually, it was nice to see Alubade to get some targets. Like if Zollers is going to be a long-term guy, seeing that connection a little bit. And then how about Nick Rodriguez, 15 tackles? I don't know, maybe the ins and outs of how bad he was, but he got in double digits there. Only one sack for the defense was a little bit disappointing to see, but I don't know. Any positives from you guys?
I mean, I'll give the defense credit because, despite the just horrible third down and fourth down moments, they did hold a pretty damn good Virginia offense in check for the most part. I don't even think their leading rusher on the season played. Yeah, I think Jamari Taylor, he didn't play.
He didn't.
So that obviously didn't help them, but Rodriguez did have a lot of tackles, and he did some nice things. Especially, I think he's a really good QB spy. But man, the motions and just the eye candy that Tony Elliott was putting on for Virginia's offense really was. Missouri's linebackers were not having a good time with it. I think they really missed Trotter. There were just so many big cutback lanes for Virginia's running back that I thought needed to be filled, that I think Trotter helps mitigate. Again, a lot of this, like you said, Jack, I thought the D-line had a horrible day. Wilson and Young were ghosts for pretty much this entire thing, and that's a shame because they were so good this year. So that didn't help things, but the safeties and linebackers, I thought they had a bad day. I know Nick Rodriguez had 15 tackles, but I just was not impressed by really anything yesterday.
I don't really have much. I don't think I have anything on the offense. I think even at times, we haven't really mentioned this either. Ahmad Hardy wasn't on the field when he should have been. Keegan Trost, real first mistake of the year, came on a 4th and 2 where Missouri, I don't even know if Missouri was going to even snap the ball there, but he did get the false start on your own side of the field. And that was, probably just a shot in the foot that you weren't expecting. That's like, Payton, help me with the name. Who's the guard from 2023 that I always talked about? Offensive guard. Delgado. It feels like a mistake Delgado would have never made. And that kind of goes in that same category with Keegan Trost, that you wouldn't have expected that. But even on that play, Hardy wasn't on the field. You go to that, I think it was 4th and 2 again, 4th and 3 later in the game. Hardy not on the field. You're scrambling to the right, bootleg with two guys running that side of the right side of the field. And Zollers doesn't get to the marker and goes out of bounds. And it's just a little bit of a head scratcher in some of those plays. And maybe that plays into, maybe the frustrations for Hardy, when he was having those conversations with Drink. And I'm with Payton. I feel like a lot of that was overblown and people were getting a little too overworked about it. My one positive, and I was texting Payton about him a couple of times. I thought Jalen Marshall had a decent game. I was pulling up his PFF grades as well. I was kind of stalling. Didn't really grade all that well. I guess
I don't really agree.
Okay, 80 tackle. These are fine grades. I think he's in the 68, 70 range on most of these. Pressure wise, he wasn't that good.
5 tackles.
5 tackles. Overall, I know that you didn't think the defensive line played well, but I think seeing him more active. 5 is a career high for him. He did get assisted on some of those tackles in the backfield as well, stopping him on 3rd down.
I don't really agree, and it's not a Jalen Marshall thing. It's just I thought really all the interior guys I just didn't think did a good job of eating gaps. And it just led to some really wide open holes, and the cutback lanes, like I mentioned, were just too many wide open ones. Not enough. And again, you go back to Virginia Virginia was trying to win this game. Let's not forget Missouri was not playing the game on its own. Virginia made plays. They had a good scheme in place. They just had the best season in their school history. Virginia's a damn good team. And I thought they did a great job of just kind of putting Missouri's defense on its heels a lot of the night. And again, I don't think the defense was the main problem. They put up 7 points, especially after how good the opening drive went. I thought Missouri was kind of going to go roll. They just kind of had Hardy and Roberts off and running. Virginia came out in kind of a gimmicky start to the game. It didn't look like they believed they could run against Missouri's front until they actually started doing it. and then they just, I mean, that 10-minute drive, 19 plays where they converted like 7 key downs or whatever.
Game was over after that.
That was like, again, hats off to Virginia. That's one of the best drives I've ever seen. Like, seriously. But yeah, I didn't think anyone on the D-line had a great day. I didn't think the linebackers were all that great. Safety, Catalan had a rough day. I can't really point to anyone and say I thought they played well. I guess Olubide played all right. But I mean, even then, it felt like there were that 4th and 2 Missouri went for, or whatever it was. It felt like a bit of a miscommunication between him and Zollers when Zollers threw it and missed him. Again, it's not anybody's fault there. I think it's just a miscommunication. But yeah, I thought maybe Roberts played okay, but I saw like he had a terrible pass block grade, and that's kind of the big thing with him. So yeah, I don't know that I'd say anyone played well.
Yeah, he got banged up for a play too and still came back in. And that was a question I wanted to build off that, Payton. I just remembered it. Where did both of you guys think this offense, like, what did you think the ceiling was after scoring that touchdown on the first drive? I mean, the offense was moving well. You get into the end zone right off the bat. Where did you guys think? Because in my mind, I was like, okay, I mean, those 21 points that we put on this team, 21 to 24 points, I felt like that was fair in the moment.
I'll let Payton cook, but to go back to his point earlier, man, how many times have I heard that under the Drinkwitz play calling? Wow, really good first drive, and that seems like that's all he's got prepared in his index cards, and then it just goes to crap after.
I mean, I did think, like, after that first drive, I mean, it looked so, like, just a nice rhythm. It looked so, like, seamless for them. And then you see Virginia come out and play all this gimmicky stuff. Like, they just had no confidence in their trenches. I really did think Missouri was going to have a decent time running the, like, as long as they didn't, like, get bogged down in the run game, which they kind of did. Credit to Virginia. They kept Hardy under wraps for the most part, other than that one run on the first drive. I did kind of think Missouri was going to have a nice day. But again, Zollers, I think he completed his first 3 passes. Then he missed that throw to Olubide on 4th down, and it just kind of felt like the game got away from them. And I'm not even just putting that on Zollers. I mean, Drink's got to be much better as a play caller. I mean, they didn't give, I don't think Hardy got a touch until there were 3 minutes left in the second half. Like in the 4th quarter. Like, that can't happen. Like, there were 9 plays before that only, because Missouri was just Virginia was just dominating and dictating everything about this game, but you have to find a way to get Armand Hardy the ball before then. And they didn't. So I did think after that first drive, I was like, okay, I think 24 to 30 points is doable here. Obviously Virginia was going to punch back, but I figured Missouri would be able to keep running the ball.
Yeah, I don't know. It's easy to say with hindsight that, you know, I was surprised at how it ended up turning out, just with how they simply could not put any more points on the board and go back to that well that was working on that first drive. Virginia adjusted, Drinkwitz did not. To me, it kind of goes down as simple as that. My last thing, is Blake Craig going to get the loudest reception when they introduce the starters to start next season? Because
I never want to see Oliver Robbins or Robert Meyer on the team again.
Man, I feel bad dunking on a poor kid. That was one of the worst misses I've ever seen.
It was horrible. It was so bad.
It was. Did he miss it short too? I think it had the distance.
No,
but it was just.
I think he had the leg. It definitely hit the net, I thought.
He had the leg, but he must have thought he was lined up 40 yards to the left, because I mean, it missed by that much. It was so not close.
That was a rough one. That was a rough one. Kicking has been an adventure. That's what I was telling. I was watching the game with some just non-Mizzou, not big college football folk, and that happened. And that's the words I use whenever I have been watching games with other people this season that don't know. Kicking has been an adventure this year. It's the positive spin. It's tough. But Blake Craig, he was good. He was good when he was there. So, or he was good when he was healthy. So just needs to be that way next season. That's a bit of a straightforward thing for Missouri to fix. There's plenty in the portal that's not as straightforward and things that will address. Any final takeaways from this game?
Yeah, I mean,
We
Go
got to
ahead.
talk about the ending real quick. I think that's just the best way to kind of wrap it up. You have Matt Zollers go down on third down, throwing the ball away. I know a lot of people were looking for, a roughing the passer a call there, and the referees pull out Matt Zollers for concussion protocol. Someone saw something that it didn't sit well, and it didn't really sit well with Matt either. When he came off the field, you could see those frustrations. He wanted to be out there. So you go to Brett Brown, who's never thrown a pass in a college football game. Great pass. I mean, props to Brett Brown for going in there and still having, still like with what I think 15 seconds, not on the clock, but 15 seconds, knowing that he was going to be on the field.
Yeah.
Throws a great ball to Daniel Blood right in his hands. It just gets, ripped out in the end zone with 1 second left. And I think it's such a wild ending there. If that touchdown happens, that's where my last question is. What is the vibe around this podcast right now? I still think there's a lot of frustrations with the offense, and you're not really going to see that play calling again. Drinkwitz only doing it for this one game. But where would your headspace be right now if Blood makes that catch?
I'd be kind of optimistic because I'd be like, there it is. I mean, Drink's teams just kind of find a way to win sometimes, and they did it again. So I would actually be okay with that. I will say it's pretty fitting that the last play of the season came from Missouri's fourth quarterback of the year throwing a pass. I mean, that is rather on the nose there.
I think I probably would have been optimistic too. I mean, even if it was Zollers making the throw, and it's not necessarily a dig on him. I mean, again, to go back to what I said at the top in those Alabama and Oklahoma games, just because they were close, I never felt like Missouri was gonna snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat. That's just not how this team was rolling. Other Drinkwitz teams have found those ways to win, and I think that's great, and I think that can be recreated. But had Missouri done that, I probably would have been excited, because that would have been the first time all year that they were able to do exactly that, figure out a way to win when a loss felt inevitable. I think we would have done 5 minutes celebrating Brett Brown going 1 for 1 with a touchdown if he completes that throw to win them a bowl game. I think it would have been a headline probably in a lot of places if that happened. But yeah, I think we then would have probably still divulged into some of the negative that put Missouri in the position they were in at the end there. So that's where we're at. Missouri loses. We're on to off-season talk in the football realm. It's gonna be busy. Got the transfer portal coming up. Remind me of the dates again, gents. Is it the 7th to the 27th?
January 2nd. I don't know when it ends.
16th.
2nd to 16th.
Those are just days that you can officially enter the portal.
Yeah.
Right.
Players will still be added to teams after the 16th.
Right. So it'll be busy beyond that, but obviously the pool will, so to speak, of potential portal talent will be put forth in that time. So stay tuned for that. And we will try and get through the men's basketball season together. Mizzou loses 13-7. We will go on to quick hits, finish up the show right after a word from our no, not a word from our sponsor. A word from our
Going to quick hits.
A word from our quick hits banner. All right, quick hits time. We'll finish up the show. We have Ken Sports Shorts, Mr. Kenny.
We've done some variation of this one before, and Payton mentioned it at the top. We're going to look at the single season rushing yards leaderboard for Missouri. It's just going to be the top 10. Even on this list on Wikipedia, where I get it from every time, it's not updated yet. So Ahmad Hardy is still in 4th, behind Cody Schrader, Tyler Beatty. Okay, so 4th on the list now, no longer 3rd. This one was set in 1998. This is the one that Tyler Beatty broke in 2021 with 1,604 yards. Cody Schrader broke Tyler Beatty, of course, with 1,627. Ahmad Hardy set the new record during the Gator Bowl on Saturday. So who is now 4th on this list with 1,578 yards in 1998?
It's West.
That's correct. I feel like that one's an easy one. You guys probably saw the top 5 too. They kept flashing it on the screen throughout the game.
Fun fact about that one, he, I believe, still is actually the record holder. They didn't count bowl stats into those back in the day.
Right, into those games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he would be at 1,578. And so, I mean, that's like one game's worth that he could just, be in first place for that. 2003, 1,406 yards.
We've definitely done this before, and I always forget.
Do you want a position?
Running back. No, it's Brad
It's
Smith,
not.
man.
Oh,
It is
that's
Brad
right. It is
Smith, yeah.
Brad Smith.
I thought
That's
that would
right.
help. I'll give it away. Number 7 is Brad Smith as well. This was his 2005 season, 1,301. Sixth on the list, 1,312 yards, 1969. My hint, because you guys won't get this if I don't give you a hint, there was a player with this exact same name on the 2023 Cotton Bowl team. He was a transfer from Arizona State.
Joe Moore.
Oh, yeah.
That is correct. It is Joe Moore. Number 8 on this list, 2018, 1,000.
Is there any relation between the Joe Moores?
Wasn't Joe Moore the?
I think there is. I remember
there is
this.
because they're both from St. Louis and they both have the name Joe Moore. And I believe Joe Moore was Joe Moore the third.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Legacy.
He was on
28
the Bears. This Joe Moore was.
Oh, there you go, Payton.
I was a
28
big fan of his
Wilson.
back in the day.
2018. That's not Larry, is it?
It is Larry Roundtree,
Larry.
the third. 9 and 10 is the same running back. If I give you the years, it's going to give it away. So 1,168 yards, 1,166 for 9 and 10 on this list.
Is it Henry Josie? No.
It is Henry Josie.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. Good job,
Bang.
Good job. I'm gonna have to really try and remember this because this is like
I always
the
forget
third
Brad
time
Smith.
we've done this list. I swear to God.
I always
You
forget Brad
did
Smith.
in some form or capacity.
Tigers in the Wild. Kenny.
My Tiger in the Wild goes to Damon Wilson, who I'll be honest, did not know was still playing college football. If you thought the last time we were going to say Damon Wilson's name was 3 years ago on this podcast, you were wrong.
Yeah. Look at that. Still
I thought you were
going.
gonna read the tweet off.
Yeah,
but,
I got thrown off by that. I was going to read the tweet if you weren't.
So this is from Tyson Ellison, former Missouri walk-on linebacker. His brother, Braylon Ellison, and of course his dad, Atia Ellison, former Missouri defensive lineman, and his brother Braylon is going to be on the team next year. So he posted this on X when we both played for Mizzou. Damon Wilson gifted me a tripod, an SD card for Secret Santa at our bowl site. Today I'm loading up that equipment he gave me for work while he finishes the season as the Military Bowl champ. I thought that was really cool. Tyson was at the game at the Gator Bowl, filming some highlights for that one. I had it pulled up as well. We know East Carolina won that game. 7 total tackles for Damon Wilson, half tackle for loss, and 5 solo tackles.
What a
Good
nice
for him.
What a nice gift, by the way. Tripod
Yeah.
and an SD card for Secret Santa. Good gift giver, Damon Wilson.
I mean, Damian Wilson also, I was a big fan. I remember like in 2022, he had to play a bunch for Chad Bailey while Chad Bailey was hurt. And I thought Damian Wilson played really well, but good to see he's at least playing pretty well at ECU. He's stuck around.
Indeed.
23-17 over Pitt. I'm going to pull it up again to make sure I got
Yes,
the
it
stats
was.
right. 4 solo tackles. Let's see if Zollers' brother. Nope, nothing in the box score.
One of the worst final plays of the game you'd ever see happened in this bowl game, by the way.
I have to look it up. I don't think I saw it.
Yeah, Henschel, I don't know, however you say it, for Pitt. Couldn't even get a throw off. He kind of panicked and like ran past the line of scrimmage and like turned. It was a debacle.
Disaster. Peyton, what is your Tiger in the Wild? Or who?
My Tiger in the Wild is going to be, if Kenny doesn't look at his notifications in the middle of the show, it's going to be Theo Wease Jr., the former Oklahoma Sooner and Allen Eagle, and of course Missouri Tiger. Grabbed a 63-yard touchdown from Quinn Ewers. It was a total, like, I don't know what the Bucks were doing. It must have just been a blown coverage because, Theo Wease was like wide open. The safety just charged way in. And yeah, Quinn Ewers and Theo Wease, the connection from the preseason. 2 guys that played high school, pretty legendary high school football in DFW. Now doing it at the NFL level. Pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, good to see you. I think we had to clarify that the last time we used Theo Wease was a touchdown from the preseason. So now we have an up-to-date one. So thank you for that.
We should really be tallying our uses of the Tigers in the Wild. It's like way too late to do that, but
the Buccaneers, by the way, finishing with the same record as the Dolphins. That is insane.
The Dolphins have had a very good second half.
Yeah, but the Buccaneers like counter to that. I mean, they've been awful.
A mess. Yeah, Baker, the wheels on the Baker mobile have fallen off.
Yeah, tough go for Tampa, but good for Theo Wease. My Tiger in the Wild. We're gonna stick with the NFL theme. It's gonna be Armand Membou. There was some controversy, some extracurriculars that he was involved in the Patriots Jets game. You can kind of see it if you're watching on the YouTube. The camera sort of pans away from it, but sort of gives an extra pancake to Christian Barmore in the last play of the first half. Membou got pretty animated. You can see the quote. I'll read it too from Barmore. He, of course, was not happy with the play, which he said, what happened is sorry ass number 70, dirty ass shit behind my back. People want to talk shit, but he ain't out there on this field. They want to act tough. You go in the locker room. So yeah, a little bit of a scuffle. Obviously, it's been a incredibly frustrating season for the Jets. I think Membou even said it. I thought I saw a clip of him in the locker room just being like, when they're running up the score on us and up big, it gets frustrating. So some things, boil over a little bit. But, Membou's had, regardless of this, an awesome season for the Jets. So that's at least a little bit of a silver lining. But yeah, a little bit of extracurriculars for our guy Membou in this one. And Patriots Jets too, obviously, rivalry game, even though very one-sided today in New York.
So Christian Barmore's angry that Membou is playing through the whistle here. I don't quite understand. He turns around and blocks the guy.
I have seen offensive linemen do this before. I agree with you.
And I know it did cause like a big brouhaha, basically, but
a shuffle.
I don't know. It looks like just a standard. Yes, it's probably a frustration play, but it's not dirty. He turns around and blocks a guy on the ground.
Definitely seen a lot worse. So
I'm also, of course, a bit biased. Like Armand Membou was my favorite player last year on the Tigers, but
it was just wild to see. I was looking up some Tigers, and that popped. That was all the headline for Membou this week. But regardless, great season for him for the Jets. Hopefully,
not for the Jets, just
for him with the Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets need to figure it the hell out.
Yeah, unfortunately, as a little bonus Tiger in the Wild, I don't believe we're gonna see Brady Cook being the long-term starter there.
Yeah. Another interception, 1 touchdown to 6 picks on the year.
Oh, it's good to see him get some starts. Headlines. What is your headline this week, Mr. Kenny?
I pulled this headline from YouTube. I didn't know if that was allowed. I don't think we've done this before, but Sophie Cunningham, all caps, Sunday conversation with Caleb Presley. This has nothing to do with it. I thought this was a funny video. If you guys haven't seen the full thing yet, but my headline is that it kind of stems from this. I guess it's not even my headline. Not many people know that Sophie Cunningham went to Mizzou. And even people that we went to school with don't know it. I asked our friend Connor McGovern, who I watched the bowl game with yesterday. He didn't know that Sophie Cunningham went to Mizzou.
Wow, that's a tough look. That's a tough look.
I mean, not going to Mizzou and not knowing that is kind of nuts to me.
That's
personally.
bad.
I gotta say. That's all I'll leave it at. I like Connor, so I'm not gonna make fun of him too hard.
It is a very funny video. These Caleb videos are great. Hopefully, some more Mizzou figureheads can go on them because they are very enjoyable. It was a funny video he did with Sophie Cunningham. Payton, your headline.
My headline is going to be completely unrelated to Mizzou. It's just going to be JJ Redick's kids write persuasive essays to earn their biggest Christmas gifts. This comes from AP News. This is an AP article. Kenny, can you scroll so I can give the author their due credit? Yes, Beth Harris at AP. Thank you for the awesome article. What a year the Lakers rather are seeming to have. You have DeAndre Ayton going, and you bought into that when a reporter asked him about JJ Redick saying he was going to make practice uncomfortable on Saturday. It's just always turmoil there. But yeah, JJ Redick is still running a tight ship off the court, I guess. His 9-year-old had to write an essay to get a Meta VR headset.
Does the article conclude, were they successful? Were their essays persuasive enough to get them their
He said his 9-year-old did really well. Knox, the 11-year-old, received an Apple Watch. I believe he did get it.
Okay.
I didn't see anything that said the contrary.
Does Santa get these as well?
Yeah, he just mails them to Santa.
Or does it just
no?
Are these just like presents from dad?
Yeah, no, he mails them to Santa. So they're persuasive essays for Santa. Don't worry. I'll throw a bonus headline for you, Payton, on the Lakers part. I found one on ESPN today on their NBA page. Slumping Lakers look for, quote, recalibration after team meeting. So that fits right with your with what you said with Ayton. And
it's always the head coach in LA. You know, you always see that. It's really interesting. It's Frank Vogel's fault. It's Darvin Ham's fault. Now it's JJ Redick's fault. I really wonder why that keeps happening.
Yeah. They have the highest scoring duo in the NBA, and they are struggling. My headline this week, I'm gonna detract even further from Mizzou because I'm not even going fully. I guess this is mostly a sports headline for why I picked this. My headline reads as follows. That's from Business Insider. The Marty Supreme cast, full of familiar faces and memorable cameos. How about some pop culture on the unwritten rule for your the end to your show?
Yeah, let's wrap this one up quick.
Listen, I'm going to give my pitch. I went and saw Marty Supreme. I'm sure everyone who's listened to this has seen some form of promotion for it. They've had like an insane rollout. It's a movie with Timothée Chalamet, and he's trying to be a world champion ping pong player. It's very good. I would highly encourage you to go watch it. But there's kind of two fun cameos in this. So and this isn't a spoiler, so don't worry. First of all, there's a good full cast. I won't, go through the whole thing. There's some fun people in it that aren't actors by trade and do a really good job. Tyler, the creator's in it. Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank's in it. He's good. But the two I wanted to shout out, there's a little bit of a thing that he does with the Harlem Globetrotters. I won't say too much more, but the director casted Tracy McGrady and Kemba Walker as just like members of the Harlem Globetrotters, and they just appear in this movie, and it's very funny just to see, oh, that's Kemba Walker, and they don't have major parts or anything, but it's the one softy brother. He made Uncut Gems, so I know he's got some NBA connections, but that was fun. I always like a good cameo. Maybe one day Kobe Brown will make an appearance in a movie.
Isn't Pepper Potts in the movie?
She is. And she's very likable, I think. I don't really like I'm blanking on her name now. Who plays Pepper Potts?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Sorry, I was blanking on her name. I don't think she's a very likable actress, especially just like off screen either. But I thought she was great in this. I really liked it. I'm glad you mentioned that note on Uncut Gems. This is shot so much like Uncut Gems. I was watching with my friend Juan. I told him, I was like, this is literally Uncut Gems, but it flows so much better. It's 2.5 hours. It does not feel like it.
No,
it was an awesome movie. I thought it was great.
You are like on the edge of your seat the whole time. There's no wasted space. Payton, if you haven't seen this and you liked Uncut Gems, I'd go watch it. It had like Uncut Gems. I thought it was very. Have you seen Whiplash? Either of you two?
Yes.
The movie Whiplash had some themes kind of coded from that movie too, and that's a very good movie. I really liked it. That's my very unprofessional film analysis take, but also Kemba Walker's in it.
Movie rule.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The unwritten film big screen. I don't know. Kemba Walker is one of my favorite NBA players of all time. I was very excited to see that.
The one thing I don't like about the movie is they played 2 songs that came out after this movie, like 30, 40 years after.
You didn't like that they didn't do it.
I don't like
time?
when movies do that, when they play music that wasn't around when this movie was based in the 1950s and they were playing music from the 80s in it. I don't like when movies do that.
That is true.
But the songs fit. It just
doesn't
doesn't make sense.
That's a fair gripe. I don't hate that at all. Peyton, do you have a joke to wrap us up, or a movie review?
No, I have a joke. This one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. This one's a layup, guys. Guys, what kind of music should you listen to while fishing?
Polka.
Something catchy.
Something catchy.
Oh,
Yes, Kenny.
nice.
What kind of music should you listen to while fishing? Something that is catchy. Shout out Sarah Lemire for the joke.
Thank you,
I feel
Sarah.
bad. Already forgot Gwyneth Paltrow's name, and I forgot the joke that I had prepared. I stole it from Twitter, and it was a dad joke. It was one that you guys don't guess it. I just go all the way through with it, and I lost it.
You don't
Not
have it?
bookmark it?
No, I thought I did. It
Bring
was
it
one
back.
of those ones that's like on a Instagram or Facebook background where it's just like a rainbow. Like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
rainbow meshed together. I wish I had it. It was so
I get a
catchy.
lot where it's like the pink screen, and then it's just like the most boring font. It just says the stupidest things. It's like not even like it just says like Jason sucks, and like there's like a happy song playing. And you're like, why? The internet's a weird place. That'll do it. We'll try and figure out this off season with all of you guys. So we'll see how it goes for Mizzou football. Should be.
It's Mizzou basketball
fun time.
time. Mizzou hoops.
That'll do it for the Unwritten Rule. Thank you for watching, listening. We will see you later.